What do Wirecard, a COO faking his own death, bribes, and Russian spies have in common? Well, you're about to find out. I've seen it all. For nearly 25 years, I worked at the DOJ, where I investigated some of the largest antitrust cases in the country. Now in retirement, I'm working for you. Welcome to the Antitrust Insider. What if I told you that one of Europe's biggest companies, backed by politicians, praised by investors, and audited by one of the world's largest firms, was built on lies? What if I told you that when it all came crashing down, the man at the center didn't just run, he disappeared, leaving behind a fake death, a trail of bribes, and whispers of Russian spies? Today, we unpack the rise and fall of Wirecard and chase the ghost of its fugitive COO, Jan Marsalek. This isn't just corporate fraud. This is espionage, betrayal, and $1 billion vanishing act. Let's start at the beginning. Part 1, the rise of Wirecard. Wirecard started as a small digital payments processor in the early 2000s, handling online transactions back when e-commerce was still basically the Wild West, but it had ambition and a secret weapon. His name was Markus Braun, a charismatic Austrian tech evangelist who modeled himself on Steve Jobs. He spoke in grand visions of a future without cash, backed by secure global payments at scale. Investors lapped it up. By 2018, Wirecard wasn't just big, it was massive, valued at over $28 billion, even more than Deutsche Bank. But Braun was not alone. Behind the scenes operated a quieter, stranger figure, Jan Marsalek, the COO. His official title, Chief Operating Officer, but unofficially, he was the fixer, the enforcer, the one who made magic numbers happen no matter how it was done. Then came the fraud. Wirecard claimed booming profits in Asia, specifically in Japan, Singapore, and the Philippines, but the revenue was mostly fictional. They cooked the books using third-party partners, shell companies, and a web of obscure banks in Manila. When auditors came asking for proof of $2.1 billion in cash, Wirecard pointed to two banks. Neither could confirm that the money existed. And here's where things get darker. It wasn't a sudden scam. Journalists like the Financial Times' Dan McCrum were raising red flags for years, but instead of investigating Wirecard, German regulators targeted the whistleblowers. Part 2, the collapse of Wirecard. In June 2020, it all came crashing down, and Wirecard admitted the money wasn't there. $2 billion vanished. The markets tanked. Investors were wiped out. CEO Markus Braun was arrested. And what happened to Jan Marsalek? Just like the $2 billion, he simply vanished.
Well, time to go to work.
Just days before the scandal erupted, Jan Marsalek vanished into the night, slipping onto a flight bound for the Philippines, and then nothing. No CCTV footage, no digital breadcrumbs, not a single trace left behind. The void he left was filled with whispers, each more tantalizing than the last. Some people said that he had drowned in coastal waters with his body lost to the tides. Other people say that it was all an elaborate ruse, a staged death, complete with a bribed local official and a forged death certificate. The truth, like Marsalek himself, still remains out of reach. Then came the odd twist, the spy connection. Intelligence agencies began tracking chatter that Marsalek had ties to Russian operatives. Austrian intelligence, his own country's intel service, knew he'd been meeting FSB agents for years, yet still did nothing. Some say he was brokering weapons deals in Libya. Others claim he had state protection. What is known, he escaped, and he hasn't been seen since. German investigators still believe that Marsalek is alive and continue to pursue leads. Part 3, the Manhunt. Interpol has labeled him one of the most wanted white-collar criminals, but unlike typical fugitives hiding in the jungle or desert cave, Marsalek is rumored to be living in style somewhere in Russia. Some reports place him in a luxury compound outside Moscow, guarded, shielded, and working closely with shadow networks. Theories abound, Did he use a body double to vanish? Did he stash millions in crypto wallets before fleeing? Is he still running intelligence ops just under a new name? After decades in federal law enforcement, I can't help but ask who failed and at what level. The signs were there, and yet BaFin, Germany's financial regulator, ignored every red flag. EY auditors rubber-stamped Wirecard's books year after year, and even Austrian intelligence somehow missed that they were dealing with a spy. What we're looking at isn't a single lapse, it's a systemic failure, a breakdown of oversight at every level, corporate and governmental alike. Part 4, The Fallout. Marcus Braun, the former Wirecard CEO, was sentenced to 7 years on December 22, 2023, after being found guilty of fraud, accounting manipulation, and market manipulation in one of Germany's biggest financial scandals. Other executives faced charges with their careers collapsing under the weight of the scandal. But the most enigmatic figure of all, Jan Marsalek, remains at large, unscathed, untracked, and forcing us to wonder who helped him disappear. In the aftermath, the EU scrambled to tighten crypto regulations, and Germany pledged to overhaul its financial oversight. Yet none of it changes a simple truth. Trust, once broken, doesn't mend easily. The Wirecard saga isn't just a story of fraud, it's a lesson in how institutions, when they look away, become accomplices. Wirecard wasn't just a scam, it was a system failure, a warning about what happens when power, money, and ego outpace oversight. And Jan Marsalek, if you're watching this from a Moscow penthouse or a yacht in the Black Sea, know this: the world has not forgotten. If you found this video helpful and informative, please hit that subscribe button, like, and comment. Until next time, stay vigilant, stay honest, and come back for more Antitrust Insider.